Welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all, and in this video, we're going to be diving into the latest community update released by the developers. Now, while this update is not very long, it's not very, I wouldn't say it's like a big, in-depth, like, write-up or anything, it does go into some details, especially as suggesting later seasons and new vehicles, new DLCs, things like that, and in this video, we're going to go ahead and break it all down. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you keep watching for the rest of the video. Now, before we get into the update itself, or at least the discussions about the update, I do want to go ahead and touch on the truck that you guys are seeing on screen right now. This truck is a collaboration between Slowest Artist 10 and Limes. Limes is the builder of the truck, the creator of the truck, and access to the truck can be gained through Slowest Artist 10's Donator Access program, which of course is only available on PC, as this is a private and branded truck. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive into the update itself. Now, we're going to talk about the what's next portion of the update first. We're going to kind of flip around through this update, but the what's next portion begins by saying, now that we've released all the content for the Year 2 Pass, meaning the Year 2 Pass is now complete, our teams will be focused on the future of SnowRunner. And by future, we mean new exciting seasons with new maps, vehicles, including new licensed brands, and more. Additional info will be revealed soon. Now, that's an interesting statement, because there were obviously those leaks that we talked about not too long ago confirming that a Year 3 pass, or at least suggesting that a Year 3 pass was in the works, and that is basically it's almost a silent confirmation. It's not a full confirmation, but it's like a 80 or 90% confirmation that like a Year 3 pass is basically happening, because they have said that exciting seasons are coming soon, and the next season would be a Year 3 pass. So, or at least Year 3 or Season 3, however you want to look at it. So that basically confirms Season 3 without saying it. Now, down in the comment section below, let me know where you would like to see the series go in the next set of seasons. I mean, I've seen a lot of great suggestions in both my comment section and my live stream chat whenever we've played SnowRunner on the channel, and especially when we've talked about where the series is going geographically, and a lot of people have suggested a more desert-style area, maybe Australia. That would be a really interesting area for this game to go, I think. Also, some more areas in the western U.S., maybe like maybe like Arizona, Montana, places like that. I think those would really lend themselves well to the gameplay style that SnowRunner has. And then obviously, of course, there would be a lot of different elements of the maps in that region that would be adapted to the gameplay dynamics that SnowRunner creates, because you can't necessarily just pick one area and have that be that, and have one map just be dirt roads or one map just be mud bogs. I feel like that would get old pretty quickly, and it would also heavily limit the amount of vehicles you could use on that particular map, because when the devs are creating these maps, they have to think, okay, well, we have to at least try to make this map usable for a lot of different types of vehicles, and create scenarios where different types of vehicles will either have challenges or do really well or be able to be used more than others, but they also have to make it just balanced enough that they can fit a good variety of vehicles into your playthrough. Now, something else I did want to touch on, and this is not meant to come off as a rant in any kind of way, even if it does come off as a slight rant, because I feel like that is kind of justified at this point, but this has been yet again another community update where we haven't heard a thing about Switch mods. And I get asked all the time here on the channel, both in the comments and in the stream chat, like, where are the Switch mods? And I understand the frustration of the Nintendo Switch community in this case. I really, really do, because we are filming this in late October, and the first mention of Switch mods, especially when they said that they were initially coming with Season 7, that was way back in, like, June, I think. That was way back at the beginning of summer, and I could be wrong on that. It could have been June, could have been July. Sometimes I get my months mixed up in that sense, but either way, we're talking about the beginning of summer that people have been expecting Switch mods for, and there were people out there that I'm sure read that announcement and, read that announcement that Switch mods were originally going to be coming with Season 7 and ran out and bought the game because of that. And, I can only imagine how they feel now, all the way in October, wondering, yo, you told us this was going to be coming like seasons ago, and we haven't heard a peep about it since. And the only thing that we have heard is little murmurings in the official SnowRunner Discord server from different members of the dev team, one suggesting that we could be seeing Switch mods before the end of the year, but there was no confirmation to that. There was no concrete information related to that either. Now, as I've said before, I don't want to place any blame, per se, on the, like, even any suggestion of blame on the developers for Switch mods not being here yet, because for all we know, they could have a working prototype and be on track, but maybe, you know, maybe Nintendo isn't, sure about it. Or maybe they're like, well, we don't like the way you've set this up, or we don't like the way you've programmed this, or we don't like the way this works. You need to change this, you need to change this, you need to change this. And who knows how many times they've had to go back and refresh and revise whatever system they're using to deliver mods to Switch. And I'm sure that they've got an in-house prototype working, or at least I can only assume that they've got an in-house prototype working, because they have the ability to sort by approved Switch mods on mod.io. So at the end of the day, I would really hope that we'll see them before the end of the year, but as of right now, we just don't have any concrete information. And until we get that concrete information, there's really not a whole lot that we can say or do. Another thing that I think is really important to touch on in this video is the recent release of the 19.1 patch. Now, the 19.1 patch, if you guys want to read a little bit more about that or get a little bit more in-depth on that, there's nothing necessarily groundbreaking on the surface, but the developers actually, when they released all of these updates, they fixed something that is one of the most important fixes, in my opinion, that we have ever had in this game. And that is, they fixed the height glitch. Now, if you're unaware of what the height glitch is, if you've ever played with a friend in multiplayer on a modded map before, especially a modded map with a lot of verticality, and you got up to a certain height, and then your friend's vehicle started to glitch out, not render correctly, looked like it was basically, like diving into the ground, and then or flickering around and stuff like that, that is now completely gone. You have no trace of that whatsoever. You can go to a map that basically stretches all the way to the maximum height you possibly can, and your friend's vehicle will still render correctly in multiplayer. It will still be able to drive around correctly, and you will still be able to look at it the same way as you would on any other map in any other location. And I think there's nowhere near enough thanks and attention being given to the fact that they fixed that, because that has been a bug in this game literally ever since the game's release. I mean, a brilliant map to use as an example of this is TNB Trails, because TNB Trails, being one of the most popular off-roading and trail riding maps in the game, you can go to extremely high vistas in that map. However, a lot of them were inaccessible in multiplayer, or at least inaccessible in an enjoyable way in multiplayer, because your friends would, like I said again, just glitch out and not render properly and basically just dive into the rocks. Not anymore. You can literally go to the highest points on that map and hang out with your friends and camp out at the top of a mountain, and it's totally chill. And the fact that they fixed that, is so huge. I can't believe they're not making a bigger deal of it, because, one of the things that they list in the patch notes is just various render fixes and various UI fixes. And I'm like, if various render fixes is what you consider fixing the height glitch, dude, that is so much more than just various render fixes. That is a huge quality of life improvement to the game, and I have to give a massive thank you to the development team for actually going in and fixing that, because that has been a glitch that I honestly thought was never going to get fixed. I just thought it was a fact of life in SnowRunner. I thought it was going to be around for the life of the game, and a lot of map makers basically started adapting to it by designing their maps in such a way that they never hit that theoretical height limit where vehicles start to glitch out. But now, they literally never have to worry about that again, and they can take full advantage of what the map creator can do, and us as players can take full advantage of what that means for us in multiplayer. And as far as the current general state of SnowRunner goes, SnowRunner, in my opinion, currently sits in an odd spot because there was a lot of, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, there was a lot of damage that was done to this game by the next-gen update. And the reason why I say there was a lot of damage done to this game by the next-gen update, I don't necessarily mean, you know, we're talking like a few seasons ago, I don't mean damage to the game itself, but I mean damage to the community in the sense of they basically segmented so many different parts of the community, especially the community that enjoys mods, by saying, well, if you own a next-gen console, all of a sudden you're not going to get all of these mods, and if you have a previous-gen console, you're not going to be able to run as many, and if you have this console, it's going to be different, and this console, and this console, and I think it became so incredibly segmented that a lot of people in the community just got so frustrated that they weren't able to use trucks that they loved, they weren't able to use trucks that they were using yesterday. It was like, oh, we've been using these trucks for like 6 months, and all of a sudden they're just gone, and then these people say, well, that makes me not want to play the game as much, and I get that, you know, I completely understand that, and I think, you know, going back and attempting to correct that is going to be a real challenge for the development team. I don't know if that's going to be something they're going to be able to do or not, but we'll have to wait and see what the future holds. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video and you have anything you would like to add to any of these topics, make sure to leave all of those thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on, and I will see y'all next time.